What's happening, YouTube? Genji here, and welcome back to my playthrough of Foundry. You may notice that our main resource bus here has a few extra rows on it. Well, I've been busy the last couple of days working behind the scenes, extending our assembly line here, as I'm calling it, adding on all of the production that we used to be doing over by the research center to our main assembly line, and you can see it goes for quite a long ways now. So I'm just copying the existing formula we already had that I showed you in the last episode for how these are set up. So we're pulling resources down from the main resource bus via loaders, loading them onto elevators down to ground level where they're fed into a row of assemblers and then fed back into a logistics container here before ultimately ending back up on the bus. For most things, there's some things that don't need to be on the main bus that just end in a logistics container, but for the most part everything is getting loaded onto the bus so that we can run by, grab some if we need, or have it go further down the line and be used in a further assembly process. So let's walk on the outside of our line here so we can take a look at how everything is set up. So I believe in the last episode we already had a couple of these set up. I think we did like machine parts and wire coil. So now we've got electronic components, we've got advanced machine parts, we've got building blocks and conveyor belts. I also fed the conveyor belts into a conveyor belt 2 line, just so I want to start upgrading our red belts to yellow belts that are a little bit more efficient and quicker for movement. We'll get to that in a minute. We have a blue science line, a red science line, a green science line, and now since this episode is going to be focused on getting Olumite, I also threw a pipe constructor in here so that we can grab some and run long sections of pipes, which I'm sure we're going to have to do here. So that's as far as I've gotten so far. I'm sure more will get added on here as we go forward. But I also moved our science facility over here since this is where the science is being produced now. So we've got now 4 servers that are being fed off of 3 lines coming up here from underneath from our science assembly lines and are just loaded into first stage, second stage, and third stage loaders. So nothing too mind-bending here, although I did update the decor a little bit with some of the new stuff that we've unlocked. So we've got glass production online now, so I put some curved glass in here, some glass windows wrapping around the back. Looking pretty good. So the first thing that I want to try to do today, besides getting another research project going, which we'll toss in here, let's see, what can we grab this time? I suppose circuit boards would be the next logical step. I think that's the next like main progression technology. So we'll get that running in the background. And then with our scanner, we can now scan for Olumite deposits. And I believe it will also show up on the map here. And I have one right here, an Olumite reservoir. So this is just over the mountains from our base here. So I'm going to go head over there and we're going to check out what this looks like and what we're going to have to do to not only get a extraction facility going here, but also to pipe it back to our base for use in producing circuit boards and a few other things. So let's go walk over there and take a look. Let's see, what else have I done around here? I did move our containers for our basic smeltable components. I did centrally locate them all right here so they don't have to run to different parts of the base to grab each one. So now we've got our, what are these called again? Ferrolite bars here. These are Ferrolite sheets. These are steel bars and plates, xenoferrite plates. I do need to add one for rods. I think it's just there, so it's not too far away, but ultimately what I want to do is kind of separate this production line into 2 halves. So starting here, everything forward will be assembly of components and whatever goods we need that use these basic smeltable components or smeltable resources. And everything to the left of this will be the same type of setup here, where it's going to be on a bus with our xenoferrite ore and our technum ore and our ignium ore, all available so that we can pull off of those lines and then extend our smelters and our crushers this way away from the line, and then just have a single output line coming back and loading onto our main resource bus. But to do that, we are hitting our technum deposit here. So So I put a bunch of containers here, and I'm just trying to basically mass drill all the technum out of here just to get it out of the way so I can start constructing over this. And then we'll just locate these somewhere that'll feed into our regular crushing and smelting system. So that's different, or I changed that off screen. What else have I done here? Most of this has been torn down. I do still have, I think, production just for our transport bots that we're using to ship off to the galactic market for Thermalite. So I do want to keep the Thermalite rolling in, so that is online just long enough until I get a new product, because I think there's like 3 or 4 different bots now that we can make that are both more profitable and fit more nicely into our new assembly line to create more Thermalite. So we'll tear all this down and move all that over to our production line. I did extend our power plant here. Let me manually open this door. I added another turbine, so I pushed the front wall out a bit, just enough to add a second turbine in here because I did hit the limits of our power production. So now we're sitting at about 50% power usage. So we may, once we get the Olumite processing online, we may need to add more power to that, but for now we've got still a 50% overhead, which is pretty nice. I have kept our seed production rolling over. Did I just lose all that? No, it went to my inventory. Okay, good. I have kept rolling this over so that we do have some seeds to use when we do get around to doing that. So we'll let that roll again. So we started with like 4 or 5, and now we've got 30. So we'll just keep doubling that and doubling that. Our concrete is empty because it's all being funneled over to another concrete container over here. I think either that or we're just using up too much concrete. I don't think I did put another concrete container here. I think we are just probably overusing our incoming concrete. Yeah, there's no logistics container here. So at some point I will have to build another casting machine to double up our concrete production, but for right now I'm not too worried about it. So let's see, what else? I think that's about it. I haven't turned in any quests. I've kept all that to do on screen. I've tried not to research too many new research projects just so we can do that all on screen. So we're just going to run over the mountain here towards this Olumite deposit. I may cut through this just because there's going to be a lot of just jumping up 1 block height ledges here. All right, there's our Olumite deposit right there. I did have to turn around and go back to the base because I forgot to grab pipes. I'm sure we're going to need a lot of those. So I do have a couple of stacks of pipes here. So, ooh, it looks kind of like either a granite or like a charcoal with some cool purple-violet streaks going through it. So I assume we can't just dig it directly. Yep, so we're going to have to extract it with a pump jack, I would guess, because we're pumping oil, we're pumping Olumite. Aim at a closer point to place pump jack. Oh, sorry. Structure is blocked by trainer buildings. Okay, so we can build it directly on it. This is a bit awkward. I'm not sure if this is even the right thing to do. But I guess we'll drop this down. Okay, it is drilling. That's good. I assume this is going to need, yep, this does need power, so I will need to pipe in some power here. And that's our water output. Pump jack 1, output 1800 liters per minute of, I assume, oil. But let me place some foundations here. And I think what we'll do is, instead of running the pipes and the power over the mountain, I think I'll use some of these 60 explosives I have in my bag here. I was using them quite judiciously when clearing the way for the assembly line. We'll blast a nice tunnel through the mountain here, and then we can run all of our utility lines through that. Make this a little bit wider. make it look nice after we get it up and running. I'll put some guardrails around it, and we'll probably have some other facilities that need to go here as well. But for right now, we just start blasting to get back to landing location. So I don't know what elevation I'm on right now and what elevation... Well, I guess we're at height 132, right? So I guess let's go see what the flat elevation is on the base side of this mountain, and then we'll start blasting in this direction from there, just so that when we come out the other side, we know that we're level with our base. I'd rather be level with our base than level with down here at the pump jack location. So I know when we did this, when we dug our tunnel over to the to our water siphoning site, we actually wound up a bit too high when we punched through the other side. So I will climb this mountain real quick, and we will reconvene on the other side. Okay, so it looks like ground level for our base is height 133, so we were actually at a good location there, but that's okay. So we're going to point ourselves roughly in the direction of the Olumite reservoir, go right into the side of this cliff here. We're going to go to height 133. I'm going to clear out just a flat wall here, and then we'll start dynamiting. I do want to get this a bit away from our power poles as well. Something like this, and I believe we want to be like 3 off the ground with our dynamite, so let's do this. Nope, that was way too much, but that's okay. So this is now at 131, which I guess isn't the end of the world because that still puts us level with this, so we can come up, but let's find the right height. So we were here 133, and we did 3 up from here. So that was, what, 1, 2, 3? If we put our bomb or our explosive charge here. There we go. I wonder if we should just go straight this way and then cut south. It'll probably look a little bit nicer, and we can't run pipes diagonally anyway, so I might actually do that. So we'll want to go, say, this direction. We'll go straight this way, and then when we hit this grid, we'll start going south. Let's go up to 3rd square. Boom. Rinse and repeat. 1, 2, 3. In fact, we probably have to go a bit deeper since we're blasting a bit shallow. So if we cut towards kind of the middle of where the sphere of the explosion would be. So what was that? 1, 2. So we're 2 in. Let's go 3 in and 3 up. And then try this. There we go. That seems like a bit more bang for our buck. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Bomb. Boom. We do still have some stuff here at the bottom, some little ledges, so maybe 2 is the right depth after all. Let's try that. We have to go 3 up, so that's 2 in, 3 up. Explosive charge. Boom. And we're still leaving 1, oh no. Okay, so this is 2 wide, this is 1 wide, so we just want 1. We want 1 in, 1, 2, no, up 1 here. Like so. Okay, yep, that works. So now we have no little leftover lines to dig out, so we'll do that. We'll dig 1 in, 3 up, and then we'll continue down the line until we get here and then go south. Oh, there's the sky. Although I don't know if we want to necessarily come out underneath it like this. We do a little bit more on this wall here. That's 1, 2, 3. There we go, something like that. Clear out this extra line to make it somewhat symmetrical. Like so, okay. And now we're out, we're at our Olumite, and we have a path leading back to the mountain, back to our base. So now we have to figure out how we want to get our power over here and our Olumite back, or if you want to do just all of our Olumite processing over here and then just pipe back the refined Olumite or whatever it is that we're producing here. Let's go take a look at power first, since we need to be at power before we can do anything else. So we'll head back over to the base side of the tunnel. We'll probably have to string some lights through here at some point, but getting some power in here is going to be required for that. Actually, it doesn't feel too far when you're just walking in a straight line and not climbing over a mountain. But to clear up these little ledges here, plop down a foundation or some building blocks and make a nice looking pathway through here with some overhead lights or something. But we do have a power pole right here, or actually right here, we can tee off of and run this through here, or we can just put this on our existing foundation, maybe extend this all the way to here and then make a right hand turn and go through the tunnel, and then we don't have to have a separate transformer and a separate power grid just for all my production. But I think maybe for right now we just string a power line and do a transformer, because we're going to need a lot of building blocks. Filling this in and making this look nice is going to be a nice off-screen project, and then we'll spend, you know, our on-screen time actually working through the tech tree. So let me grab some copper wire from our... Oh, wait, no, I have some right here, wire coil. So let's go ahead and make a bunch of... Where are they at? I thought it was a handheld. It is. Power lines. I'm sure we're going to need a ton of these, and we're going to need a ton of these wall-mounted power poles as well. And at least one transformer. So wait for that stuff to craft, and we'll see you in just a minute. Okay, I cleared the walls out a bit just to make some room to string our power wire. So we're going to grab power line, and then, oh no, we're probably going to have to put down our power pole first, because the power line wants to duplicate the last power distribution object that it touched. So if we put this, say, here, and then we grab our power line, we can string it from here to here, and then it's going to give us another one of these. So we're going to do this straight down the wall as far as we can for each one of these, all the way down the tunnel. And then I will meet back up with you when we're all the way through the tunnel and to the other side. Let's copy this. Nope, can't copy it. So from here to... say here, and then we'll rotate it just once this way, then we can come on this side. And from here, where do you want to go from here? We can go straight up from here. Nope. Even the walk is a bit too fast, and you're trying to be very precarious on these single tiles. You just have to just like jump and slightly nudge yourself forward a bit to keep yourself from running off the edge. So where did we come up here? We came up... Dang it. As I was saying, okay, we're underneath... We're 2 tiles out from the edge of our building blocks. So right... here? There we are. We just need to expose this. Copy this over. Let's do one more row. Give us some walkway here. Something like so. Put a wall here. And then we can bring this up to a level that we can actually connect it to our transformer, which we will drop. Oh, I blew up the pump jack. Oopsie. There was a big hole here, and I wasn't sure where the pump jack went, but now I see it's in pieces all over the floor. At least we get our parts back if we mine it back up. I don't know if it's 100% return, but it's something. One more? No, it's gone. Okay. So, we rebuild our pump jack. And this went like here, facing out this way, right? So we're probably going to need another row of building blocks here, because we're going to have a pipe coming out this way and then coming around and then probably going down. So our power's coming up here. We can't just get rid of, we can't blow it up and we can't drill it out, so we just have to find a new place for our transformer. I guess here is fine. If we face it out like this. That should work fine. Connect it up. 1, 2. There we go. Grid is online. Our pump jack. No grid connection. Oh. Oh, this needs to be on the grid, huh? No, 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 no. It's got a high voltage connection, doesn't it? Because that doesn't make any sense. Where was that? Oh, come on. You need like Minecraft, you hold shift and you can't run off of edges. It just locks you to the edge of the cliff. Need something like that here. So we should be able to, we might hit this ledge here, but let's see. Go to here. Ah. Okay, so we'll have to go up one more. So let's delete this. In fact, I don't even know if we need a transformer here. I guess it depends on what else we're adding here besides the pump jack. So connect this to this to this. Okay, now we're pumping out crude Olumite. So then a distillation column, and there was also like a smoke stack or a burn stack, flare stack. There we go. So let's build a distillation column. It takes advanced machinery parts, which I'm just about out of, but we have enough to make some of our own. And I assume we're going to need at least one flare stack, so we'll also queue that up. Let's take a look below. The drill is turning, so is this just going to drill straight down? Is it going to take out an area equal to the dimension of the entire pump jack? We'll have to wait and see. There's no recipes, it just says one thing, and that's drill crude Olumite, which unfortunately looks very similar to the water symbol. It'd be nice if they made that like purple instead of blue. Please stop running off the edge. He's too mobile. Let's see. So we've got a flare stack. We've got... Where did the other one go? Distillation column. That does go on a low voltage grid. Okay, so we do need to connect this up. You go to you. Let's see what this looks like, and then we'll find a aesthetically pleasing place to put it. Oh my god, it's huge. So we're going to need something like an oil platform or an oil drilling platform, oceanic drilling platform here. Unless we put, I suppose we could do like a, extend this around the side of the mountain here. Not quite sure how I want to do that. I mean, these could just go, we could just pipe the crude all the way back into base as well, which might be a bit easier. Oop, no. Let's see. Because these are going to require a large footprint, and we don't really have a large footprint here. Yeah, so we'll do that. So we're going to pipe, we'll take our transformer back. We'll run a pipe. I don't know why I made more pipe, I brought a whole bunch. Run our pipe down following our power line here, run it back to the tunnel, and then we'll set up a distillation center back at our main base. Okay, there we go. Our Olumite, or our crude Olumite line has run all the way through back to our base. I guess we can set our Olumite production up maybe right here on this side, right behind the concrete plant. And the old science center, so we can get rid of this or repurpose this maybe for one of the actual like assembly, the board assembly plants. Yeah, I think that works. So we'll start clearing some of this stuff out here. And we will drop down one of the distillation columns just to see what's going on with it, what it's all about, what its inputs and outputs are. But I do need to drop down temporarily this transformer to get it onto a grid of some kind. Let's put down some building blocks here. Say this much. Well, I kind of want to make it level with it. Well, no, because it's going to be level with the rest of the base, too. Arg! Everything's so unlevel. Alright, I do need to maybe drill some more out. Let's take a look. No, we're intersecting something. The power line, maybe? Yeah, I think the power line. So we'll have to move those power lines at some point, but we have just enough room right here, it looks like. Although it does not. This is the output side. Output side, output side. Do we have to pick a recipe first? Oh, it's the drop to the transport ship. We do have to drop our transformer here, though. That is a definite. Power line. Let's connect this up to here for now. There we go. We're online. Configure the distillation column to refine Olumite into liquid polymer. Okay, so it takes crude Olumite and produces liquid polymer and waste gas. So that's what the flare stack is for. And it wants to receive this on the left-hand side. It's a shame you can't reconfigure that. Okay, so we got raw in, refined out, and exhaust out. Waste gas out. So maybe we rotate this. Because we're going to need what? We're going to need 3 separate pipelines now run to each one of these machines. So we have to decide if we're going to do it underground, which I am more keen on, or we go up into like a ceiling and run it above the building. I think we're going to go underground. So we're going to have to bury this line and bring it underneath this foundation and then pop a hole up here. And we'll probably have to do a basement like we did with the power plant, just that we have enough room to maneuver all 3 of these separate pipelines around each other so that we can run our refined Olumite or liquid polymer into this building here, and then run a separate exhaust or waste gas feed to a flare stack. So let me dig a little bit more of this out. We're going to make a little basement here, and then we'll get our pipes put in once we reconvene, so I'll see you in a minute. Oh, now it gives us a tutorial on pump jacks. Pump jacks are used to extract liquids from so-called reservoirs. See details below. They need to be placed on top or slightly above of a reservoir, and it will automatically start drilling for extractable liquids as soon as it's powered. Connect a pipe to move the extracted liquids. Okay, we figured that much out. Reservoirs are big, spherical, rocky objects containing various sorts of rare liquids. They can be found by using your handheld scanner, and they can be on the surface or buried in the ground. A reservoir cannot be removed by drilling or the use of explosives. Okay. We didn't get a nice round Olumite deposit like that. We got just kind of a crummy little orb, a little pebble of Olumite. I had to go run some, or grab some more foundations. But our basement is just about complete. You can head down with me here. So I ran our pipe down under the ground. We'll patch this back up. But I needed it to come into the wall here. So I have our 3 pipe distribution networks along the sides of the wall here. And we'll just drop a floor down real quick. And so what I'm thinking is we need our input crude here. So we'll just tee off this pipe right here. Teed off, and then we'll bring it up the wall with H and R, and then rotate this way and this way, and then one more time this way and this way. H T show it. There we go. Then we've got our input Olumite, our input crude, so I can hear it working up there. So we have to deal with the output exhaust. So we'll tee this off, and we'll go to, I guess maybe we'll take the second one here. So we'll tee this off. Can we copy this? No, we can't actually see it. That's okay. And we'll bring everything up to the ceiling. So we'll rotate. We can copy this though, so we'll rotate that. And then we'll rotate, or we'll grab this, copy this. Copy this. 1, 2. Oop, that needs to be a corner piece. Okay, so now we've got our waste gas. So we're gonna have to punch a hole in the wall behind this. We'll tee this off on, I don't know, the front here. And then we'll go up to our flare stack behind it. And I'm kind of imagining this like kind of like a stereotypical looking factory, like a 2-tier. So we've got our production on the ground floor here. And then we'll go up a few blocks and do another platform back, and then we'll do our flare stack stuff. From a distance, it looks kind of like a 2-tier building with smokestacks coming out of the top for our flare stacks. And then we can do some angled roofs and do kind of a traditional looking factory. So we'll start getting that set up. Ooh, we got a company rank increase to a planetary forge. Literally all we've been doing is AFK production of transport bots, the very simplest bots in the entire galaxy, but hey, I'll take the accolades. So we need to tee this off here for our processed Olumite. Where are our pipes? There they are. So T, rotate out, and then copy this piece. There's our processed. So we have all of our different liquids in a transport network now. We just need to set the output. So I think we're going to build, what did I say? We're going to put our board production, our polymer board production in this building here. So we'll have to trench that pipe over to here. But for right now, I want to start digging out and placing platforms for our flare stack so we can deal with this exhaust gas first, or the waste gas first. I'm going to keep doing that. So we'll meet back up in just a second when I figure out where that's going to go. Okay, so I have a basic cross section of what I'm thinking here. This will get extended this direction, and this is just kind of a single vertical slice of what this build is going to look like. But we've got a door in the front, and then when you come in, we've got our refiner. I forget what this is even called now. I've been digging and placing walls for so long. Our distillation column is here. Obviously, we've seen the basement already. These pipes went down in the basement. And so behind this, there's actually a catwalk that will go up to a second platform. And here we'll have our flare stacks going down the catwalk here. And their exhaust, or their smokestacks will actually go up and out the top of the building. So the effect is that you'll see the smokestacks and then the billowing smoke coming out of the top of the building here. And so behind this wall, you've just got, there's a false wall or a cavity back here where we just have each of the waste gas pipes breaking out from our main distribution channel underneath in the basement, coming up and then into the flare stack there. So the only thing that we have left to do to get this up and operational is to come down here into the basement and to remove this pipe and replace it with a T section and then face it backwards going out. And we should now have something going on. It might be full. Yeah, we have no waste gas. I think we just like immediately burned it off. Oh, no, we just haven't connected it yet. Turn it this way. There we go. Now we've got dissolving waste gas. So if we take a look from back here, there we go. Now we've got our smokestacks coming up out of the top. So we can continue this building this way, just copying this basic blueprint once for each one of our combination flare tower or flare stack and distillation columns here. And then we will have to do something with our liquid polymer. We'll probably collect this into a tank as a buffer, and then we'll pipe this out into this building here. I just have to decide whether I want the tank to be probably here, maybe just inside the door, or inside this building where we're actually going to be doing the handling of the polymer and production into polymer sheets. So we'll take a look at that in just a minute. I do want to just patch these walls up here, and then we'll run a pipe coming out of here and then over to this building, and then we'll decide what to do at that point. So I'll see you again in another minute. Okay, I think we're ready to put everything together. So I did copy our blueprint and put a second distillation tower to the left of it. Now we've got 2 distillation towers operating off of 2 flare stacks. We have the tank here is finally full of liquid polymer. We'll take a look down below. There's nothing unexpected down here, but just to see what I worked on here. So I just continued the main bus of liquids, if you will, to the left here, and then hooked up another set of leads coming off of it. And the output for this actually punches through the wall here and goes left under the ground. And we'll trace that out to what used to be the science center. So that runs under the ground here. You can kind of see the discolored earth where I trenched it out. So there's a new pathway here that leads over to this building. And that output feed comes into the wall right here. And then inside, we have our casting machine that's pressing polymer bores with our liquid polymer. Just kind of comes up through the ground here, connects to our casting machine, and then in the back, we have an output bus. And all I have to do now is connect this up to the container here, logistics container. And that's going to run in and then out. And when that hits the end and starts backing up, then this will start filling up this logistics container. I don't know if we'll ever need to grab handfuls of these, but that output line travels under the ground through our old assembly line. So we'll walk around it. Under the ground, and then cuts, I want to say it comes along this trench right here, under our crushers, and then eventually pops back up right here. I had to find a space to squeeze this in, and I was originally going to put it on the far side of this, next to where we're bringing up the Thermalite bars, but we're going to run into our labeling signboards for our assembly line, so we're just going to put it on the left-hand side for now. And then once all this Technum ore gets dug up, I can disassemble all this. All this will actually get moved to the far side to where our assemblers are here. So this will get cleaned up a bit. But for right now, I'm just going to feed it into an elevator, and we're going to stick it onto a new row that's going to run on the top of our main resource bus here. So let me make another freight elevator. Or make this a top, and then we're going to have to go up, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 spaces. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So all we have to do now is A, get up there, and B, extend our bus just a tad. And I am going to start making everything with yellow belts now. So if we, we can left mouse button to replace complete conveyor line. Oh, that's awesome. That's going to save me a ton of work. Cool. But that's not actually what I want to do. I guess I'll have to go into free place mode, because I want to just stick this on top like so. And then we'll connect off of this. So we'll go back 1, hopefully. back one, and it's going to shut me off the edge, whatever. That should be enough, because now I can do the, I can do a bus here. I will need a yellow conveyor balancer. I keep calling these buses. We're like 5 episodes into this, like probably 10-ish hours of gameplay, and I'm still calling balancers buses. And this needs to go actually one... How do we do this? No, that's actually perfect, because our output will go here. And then our, conveyor line will feed into this, and that'll feed into that line. Let's go up here and set that to an output. Like so. No, oh, right. Skipping steps. So this needs to go here. Connect it from both ends. There we go. Now we should get some polymer boards flowing. There it is. Oh, jumped right over the edge. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to bring this all the way to the end of our resource bus here. And then we're going to use the polymer boards. I believe you combine it with electronics components to form circuit boards, and that will be the foundation of our next breed of robots that we're going to create for sale on the galactic market. Missing conveyor belt. Oops. All right, so let me grab some more handfuls of conveyors, which is conveniently not too far away. I think it's right here. Yep. I'll grab one more row of these. I need to clear my inventory or research a larger inventory, one of the two. Getting kind of full in here. And unfortunately, there's no easy way back up there. We can try some parkour here. Nope. Alright, we'll just take the catwalk. There we go. Might have to make some more of those catwalks intermittently down this line so we don't have to run all the way back to the beginning to get on top. Although I'm sure we'll unlock the jetpack soon, so soon enough it's not going to matter. But let's just continue this way. Without falling off, hopefully. To right here for now. And because we can continue it from the ground... Oh, we could have just climbed up here, I guess. At any rate, let's take a look at what's required to make these circuit boards. We need a polymer board and electronic components, and it's made in an assembler, okay? That's easy enough. So I will need to blast out some more of this ground here to make some room for an additional line of assemblers. So let me take care of that, and then we'll get some circuit board production set up, and then we'll look at what kind of robots we can make with those circuit boards to increase our profits. Okay, I've got this mostly assembled. I figured we can do the rest on screen. So I've got the main resource bus extended down. I've got a lot more land clear out because you're going to put some more assembly lines here after this. But this is going to be our circuit board construction line. So we're going to have a couple of assemblers here, and then we're just going to repeat our usual process here. We're going to bring down our resources from up above. So we're going to have one line of polymer boards, and we're going to have one line of electronics components. So electronics components I can see here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to put a freight elevator top on 7. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we know that our polymer boards are now on 11. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then the output from this is going to be circuit boards that are going to have to go onto a new row up on 12. So that's what our freight elevator is going to look like. We can worry about that when we get to it. So we've got our outputs. These are going to bring our boards down, but we do have to put the loaders on first. So we're on the back. We're going to slap on a couple of... If I can get over here. A couple of loaders that are going to go on the right side, and then our output's going to be fed on the left side. So let's connect these up with foundations. There's one. There's 2, and then we just need some conveyors. So they're going to be going in, and then we have to interrupt the bus line. Put that back there. I do have conveyor balancer red. Let's stick yellow conveyor balancers on here though. So we're gonna make 1, 2, 3. And then let's just replace this. So we're gonna put conveyor balancer 2s over conveyor balancer 1 on our hotbar here. And we're gonna start working exclusively with conveyor 2s. We're gonna put this here, and then we're gonna put this 1, 2. Am I looking at this right? Yeah. So put 1. What did I grab here? I want the conveyor balancer on 6. Right. Pixel perfect. There we go. So that should be bringing down, here we go, electronics parts. And then that should be bringing down polymer boards. So now we need some loaders on our assemblers to bring that in. So we've got 1. This can be a bunch. 2, and then second lane loaders, 1 and 2. So we should now be assembling. We have to actually tell what to assemble. So we want circuit boards here. Circuit boards and circuit boards. And then for the output, we're going to repeat our storage, well, our logistics container. So like this, did I do that right? Yeah, up and then down. And then into here. And then we're gonna fill these in with building blocks. Conveyor belts. Build a logistics container. Slap that here. Loader. 1 input, 1 output. So as soon as this backs up, I think the freight elevators actually have a capacity of like 100 internal storage. It's 50 or 100, I don't exactly remember. But once that internal buffer fills up, then they'll start backing up and start filling up our logistics container. But in the meantime, we can build our walkways. We're gonna need 26. That will just overproduce because we always need more. Fill this out to here. And then stairs up. And then stairs down. Stairs down. Put a top on it. Oops. Q. Put a ledge here and here. And then we have to bring it over our input lines. So another... Not there. Not that. Here. There we go. And then we'll just copy this. Spin it. Copy this, spin it. There we go. So then we have 1 full assembly line for circuit boards. And then we're gonna have to extend a new 12th line on our resource bus. And so let's take a look at what we're gonna be building next. So we have access to, right now, for robots, we have access to mining drones. Sales price 95, so like more than 4 times what we're currently selling our transport bots for, but let's see if there's something even better we can do. So where are we at on our tech tree here? So we're at mining drone assembly. We can actually do freight elevator 2 now, so I hope these can be in place, replaced like the conveyor belts can. Otherwise, I'm gonna have some rebuilding time to allocate. Now let's get back to our tech tree here. So as far as robots go, we have combat drones, which are further down the tech tree. We've got maintenance drones. So we've passed by light bot assembly, snack bot assembly, and vacuum bot assembly. We've got access currently to planter drone assembly. Planter drones sell for 63, so our mining drones are still a better option at the moment, but we can get to combat drones, which sell for 108. Let's see what they require. Firm-like sheet, advanced machinery parts, circuit board, hover engines. So we have everything. We have access to everything there except weapon components. So that will also require some new research. Where do weapon components come from? Oh, it unlocks it here, and that makes thermalite, sheets, and machinery parts, explosives. Ooh, it'll finally be time to automate the production of explosives, so I don't have to keep handcrafting a bunch of dynamite for clearing land. But that's going to add quite a few new assembly lines, so I think for right now we'll stick with the mining drones. And do we currently have a research? We don't have anything, so let's go ahead and research something right now. Let's take Drone Miner 2. So we'll get that running. So we've got our circuit boards here. So we're also going to need hover engine automation, or we need to automate the production of hover engines with a new assembly line. So to make hover engines and components, we're going to need technum rods, advanced machinery parts, and electronics components, all of which we currently have on our main resource bus. So let's go ahead and just extend this down a bit more. We'll add a new assembly line for hover engines, and then we can add a second new assembly line to go straight to our mining drone production. And I think what we'll do is, instead of taking the output to a buffer or a logistics container, we'll just bring it underneath our resource bus, pop out the other side, and then up on this ledge here, we will put a delivery platform. What do we call it here? A shipping pad. Put a shipping pad here, and we'll just send the drone straight from the assembly line right up to market. All right, this is probably a good place to bring you guys back in. So we have a new challenge for our manufacturing process, and that is that these mining drones actually require 4 components to manufacture. So we're going to have to bring our usual 3 input lines on the backside, and then do a second line on the front. Now, luckily, because these are going to go straight under our resource bus and then go out to a transport pad to be shot into space, we don't have to deal with a 5th elevator to put these back up onto a bus, but we still are going to require 4 elevators for our 4 components. So what we've got going here is 2 new assembly lines. This line here is going to be producing our hover engines. So they're going to take technum rods, advanced machinery parts, and electronics components, which we already have lined up here and ready to go. So all we have to do on this line is go to the front of our assemblers and tell them to make us some hover engines. Like so. And now these should be pumping out hover engines. I do have a logistics container on this as a buffer, but they're just going to go straight up onto a new 13th line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A new 13th line. And they're going to come over here, and then we're going to bring these down into these machines, which are going to be producing... under robots, we've got mining drones. They're going to take steel beams, advanced machinery parts, circuit boards, and our new hover engines. So let's get these tops slapped on our elevators, and we can bring our components into these assemblers. I believe I have some left over. Yeah, I have 5 freight elevators. So we're going to copy this, put a top on it, and our first recipe component is technum rods. So actually, did I read that right? No. Steel beams. I was looking at hover engines. Those steel beams are on 3, so we'll do 2, 3. So this should be pretty easy. We'll put a loader on the back. 8. Like so. Interrupt our line here. Put a conveyor under the loader so that we can put a balancer on the front. And that should be bringing... Oh, we have to put a... we have to power the loader. There we go. Now it's bringing down our beams. This can go straight onto the line. Set this as an output. There's our first ingredient. So our second ingredient is circuit boards, which are... I'm gonna have to climb the ladder here. I think it's gotta be 12, right? Because that was the thing we made last. So yeah. So if this is 13, this will be 12. So we're gonna have to go to 12 on this elevator. So we'll copy this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we'll just repeat this process. So we'll grab a loader here, put it on the end, put a conveyor belt underneath it. We will very carefully interrupt that line. 1, 2, put a bus, not a bus, a balancer, which I am out of actually. I still have 13 conveyor 1s, so let's just make 13 conveyor 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, we still have one left over, so there we go. And then we have to power that loader, so we'll bring this down. Like so. And here they come down now. And we have to connect those up to a conveyor belt line here. So these are going to come around here, so we'll push these back. Spin this around. Where does this elevator start? Right here. So we'll take this out of the side like this, and then rotate it immediately, and set this to an output, and we're good. Here come our circuit boards. So next we're going to need advanced machinery parts, which should be pretty close to the ground. Let's see, let's have our ladder here. Advanced machinery parts are... I might have even... Okay, they are. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Row 8. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, row 8. So we'll just repeat this again. Copy elevator top 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Loader on the back. Conveyor. Whoop. Trigger happy. Balancer here. Power. Loader. Get out of here. Here it comes. And so we need to get this elevator here, which starts on this row. To get that connected here. Well, we need to save some space for our last row, right? Well, no, our last row is over here, so it actually doesn't matter. I will take this back one, though, and go here, and then rotate. Oh, and this needs to be set to an output. There they are. Okay, so let's load these into the back, and then we'll get our two front conveyors set up. So 1, 2, then lane 2, 1, oop, I'm out. 2, and then third lane, 3 and 4. And then we come over here, so we're gonna have to, we're inputting from lane 1 and then outputting on lane 2. So input, input, and then our second lane loaders on 7. Oh, rotated the wrong way, that's why. Here's our output. And did I do this right? No. I want them to be symmetric, so these need to go back one. So you here, 7, output, output. And that should be everything we need to put our... Oh no, we have another component we have to bring down. So our last ingredient... Hover engines, right. Okay, so if this is 12, then our hover engines are 13, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Rinse and repeat. Belt in. Can barely even see that. Balancer in right here. Connect to power. Dang it. Get out of here. There we go. Other There's no hover engines flowing up. What are we doing wrong? This is set to an input, so it's got to be our output that's wrong. This is not set to it is set to an output. Oh, I didn't actually connect it to the, need to put a balancer on. So we'll delete this and this. 6. Balancer flowing this way. There we go. Now we've got hover engines. And they're going to flow into the input. Somewhere. Here. Oh, this is going the wrong way. Like that. There they go. Now they're going down. And then we just take this directly out. Set it as an output. And there she is. Intake. We'll set these to be constructing mining drones. And we're online. And you may notice that our profit in the top right-hand corner is flat for the last day. It's because I finally disassembled all of the original assemblers, and the transport pad that's here is actually our original transport pad. So we're no longer producing transport bots. We are only producing mining drones. And there he goes. He's going to flow under our assembly line here into the side of the mountain here, where there is a bottom elevator component waiting for us to put a top on it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put this right here. And it's already connected to an output bus. So as soon as it digs its way down and connects to the base, we should see our mining drones come out. Oh, we don't need a loader here. This just goes straight in. I was watching hockey while I was building this, so I was only half paying attention. I just saw the elevator come up. There they are. And then we do have to put this, we have to tell it to be a transport for wares from the factory to the space station, and that we're going to be taking up mining drones. Capacity 11 items. Is it because of the weight? Yeah. Shipping pad capacity, 2,000 kilograms. Okay, so the shipping pad can hold 23 of them, but our cargo ship can only bring in 11 at a time. So yeah, we want to just tell it to take as many as you can. And I think that's it. So we're just waiting for more to come in. So we have 7 in here right now. Maybe I should put these to level 2 assemblers, perhaps. There's 8. I just want to see how much we're going to get for our first haul. We do have to take a look at our space station, too. I've been completely neglecting our space station for the past, like, 2 episodes. Because there hasn't really been anything that we need from our space station yet. I mean, could probably use a larger transport ship so we can take more items at a time. But I'm really not seeing what... Oh, there they go. What was I saying? I'm not really seeing what the purpose of making more money is other than just number go up, because, like, the whole point of making profit is to acquire Thermalite bars for your production. And we're already so ridiculously overloaded on Thermalite bars that it'll take us a long time and a lot of production upgrades to really start tapping into or threatening our incoming supply of Thermalite. I was hoping for instant satisfaction, but I guess that bar is going to take a minute for it to show our profits. So in the meantime, let's go over to the space station terminal, and we'll see what the condition or the status of our space station is, because we probably can at least send out another shipment of buying building materials for it. Ooh, and we are going to have to locate a new source of xenoferrite soon, because we are down to the wire here. Where is our terminal? It's been so long since I've touched it. Here we go. Contact space station. So yeah, we've got almost 60,000 Thermalite, which is like 6 times the amount of Thermalite we can even keep in here. So we're paying somebody else to hold our massive stacks of bars for us. Let's go ahead and go to the Galactic Market. We're going to buy some more construction materials, although we will be able to buy our own soon, or not buy our own, but make our own soon enough and just ship it up. So use this ship, confirm trade. And let's see about spaceships. Where's our hangar space? Cargo bay capacities. Total hangar space 4, use hangar space 2. So can we buy a larger cargo ship? We need to upgrade our station's docking facilities. No. Okay, so let's go to our station upgrades. Spaceship hangar bay A. Additional hangar space 3. So at what point do we get the ability to get larger ships? Maintain more spaceships, maintain more spaceships. Open up more hangar space. I'm not really clear on that. But we can at least get this going. And then we're going to hit our power limit here as well. So we do need to maybe get some of these going. Well, we can only do one at a time anyway. So we'll have to queue up maybe Solar Array 2 next, which is going to take another 100 construction material, which we do have, but we do also have another 100 coming in on the Galactic Market in about 10 minutes. So at least we have something rolling here. In the meantime, I guess we can check with BB here. E for interact. High voltage power.
We are now compliant with the guidelines. Great work, team.
All right, let's take Olumite.
Right. This moon has been chosen because it's not only rich in minerals, but it's also full of a liquid resource called Olumite. This sticky liquid can be refined into the various chemical products we're going to need. We should find some and drill it up.
Way ahead of you. Build 4 pump jacks and build 2 lava smelters.
This moon has been chosen because it's not only rich...
Okay, I don't need to hear it again. So, while we're waiting, we run over and we'll build another pump jack just to clear that quest out. I did not check what the production capacity is of the pump jacks. I know we're way over our necessary capacity for refined, for liquid polymer, basically. So what I may do is we'll convert one of these distillation towers into the creation of Olumite gas, which I saw is coming from the tech tree. So we'll have one refining Olumite into liquid polymer and one refining Olumite, we'll pronounce it the British way, distilling Olumite into Olumite gas, and then we'll be set up for the production of, I believe it is energy cells. Let's get a light on here. So we'll run to the end here. I'll see you in just a second. Okay, so here's our existing pump jack. So it's producing... It does not say. I guess we can look at the description of pump jack, which is here. So it outputs 1,800 liters per minute, and our pipes are carrying... Surely I have some pipe with me. Here we go. It does not say. We can look at this, though. I think we go to the copy menu, or the V menu, left mouse button to open pipe network info. So the pipes can carry 36,000 per minute. So we have a ton of extra capacity in this one pipe. So we can slap a few more pump jacks on here. I might just do one right now just to satisfy the conditions of the quest, because we're not really utilizing that much Olumite right now. Where did it go? Here it is. So we'll face this in the same direction, and I wonder if we should leave a space in here. I need to see if I can get this on the same vertical level as our existing one. So we might need to go down one here. And then copy the pump jack. Pump jack is not hitting a reservoir below it. But it will if we go back one. Okay, so it has to be touching at least one block. This is annoying. I need to stand here. Structure is blocked. Structure is blocked. They're very finicky. It's a very annoying formation to try to put these pump jacks on. Here. I'm just going to place it so we can look at it. Yeah, okay. So it needs to sit on a ledge. It can have one space underneath it, but there has to be an Olumite node either directly beneath it or one space below that. So it should actually be able to sit right here, although this works better, I think, because this is on the same Z level as this pump jack, so I'm actually kind of... It's a happy accident. So we'll take this stuff down. And then we'll just put a platform around this. Like so. And then we just need to wire this up. So we'll drop a power pole down, say, here. Grab a power line here to here. Why can't you do that? That's in the way. Can we do... Oh, that can only have one connection. Got it. Well, and I guess we'll go right above it. Power line here to here. That's allowed. And then we'll go from here to... Ooh, block through another wire. Or another power line. Down to here. And then we'll delete this. And we'll go from here to here. And then we just have to connect this up, so we'll tee this off. Like so. And then let's bring this out straight, maybe. One more. One more, and then a curved corner. Right there. Pipe network complexity. Use tablet to inspect pipe network for more details. Pipe network complexity exceeded. Oh, we're barely over it. Throughput is limited because pipe segment is too large. Break it apart into smaller segments by using pumps. We're gonna have to put a pump in for 4 spaces. Unless we can maybe put another pump jack here. So let's break this down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's like the limit of this pump network. So let's try breaking this down and finding a better spot for it. It's a shame we can't break these Olumite nodes. It would be a way more convenient. It's like, why can't we do this here? Let's delete this and this. So this should fit the conditions, right? This is a 3x3 with a 1 space down and then an Olumite block. So this here should be valid. Structure is blocked by terrain or building blocks. What terrain or building blocks? Yeah, see? That fit perfectly on there. Okay. That's going to save us some complexity on our pipe network. So bring this down here. Copy this. T, there we go. Rotate down, and then we'll need to rotate this way. Then we're gonna have to, oh no. Here. And this is gonna rotate down again. And this is gonna be a T. No, are you kidding me? No! It's 1 over 302 of 300. You know what? I wonder if we can just put a tank. Can we do an inline tank? Will that solve this issue? Will it split our... Oh god, it's huge. Will it split our pipe network into 2 pipe networks with the tank as the splitting point? Now how are we gonna fit this in here? I didn't think that far ahead. I guess we can, if we push this further forward, like by 1, 2 squares. What are we hitting? Oh, this. That way we can come straight in. Oh, it needs to be powered. So at that point, there's no better than having a pump in line. Well, I guess if we're going to want to expand our Olumite capacity in the future, we're going to need a pump in line at some point anyway. So I guess let's just build a pump. And then we do need to plop a transformer down here, which sucks because I put the transformer away that we had before, so we'll just have to build another one. Not the end of the world. We'll tuck it in back here. transformer. And then we'll go from here to... Oh, come on. Get out of my way. From here to here. Now this is powered. Now this should be powered. Oh, because it's sitting on one tile of Olumite. Oh my god. Stop being so difficult. So this can actually go back where it was originally, since we got to put the pump in anyway. And then we don't have to do this off here. So our pump's gonna go here. And here. Now we have power. And then we're just gonna have to tee this off. Alright, and then we power here, so we will need to put this back in line. Well, that was obnoxious. Also, I noticed that we are not turning any profit yet, so I think, if I recall, we might have to find a specific buyer for our mining drones. So we'll take a look at that when I get back to the base. This one is not functioning. It might be full. Yeah, it's full. Its internal storage is full. This one is still building up, so when this one hits 1,000, it will also stop because we're not using that much. Yep, okay. So let's run back and we'll take a look at our space station and see if we can find a buyer for our mining drones, and then we'll look at the production of Olumite gas so we can get into energy cells, and if I'm not mistaken, that will give us access to jetpacks. Alright, contact space station, galaxy map, galactic market, new trade, sell. So we can sell construction materials. What are we doing with our... Aha. So we have to enable the sale of mining drones. And we have to set the price. Average hourly demand is 800, or I don't know, we're definitely not going to meet that. But let's try selling them at 82, which is still less than I think they're worth 94, somewhere in there. Stop selling these transport bots because we're not going to be making these anymore. Sales prices are expected to be 30% lower than average market prices, but it does not require extra management. So I guess we'll see if any of these actually sell. Since other sales methods are always prioritized, the sales platform is also a convenient way of selling excess products and storage. So I guess we also need to look at the galaxy map and find somebody who's demanding mining drones. Mining bots. Buy my bots. Who wants to buy my bots? Nobody, really? Mining drone. Here we go. So how do we actually engage in commerce? Go to parent sector. Sector has not been contacted yet. Only sectors adjacent to already unlocked sectors can be unlocked. Sector limit reach. Sector has not been contacted yet. You have reached the maximum number of sectors you can unlock. Upgrade the space station. Ah. So space station upgrades. So is that antenna? To monitor more galaxy sectors. Additional galaxy unlocks 1. So to get that, we have to go through the 10 megawatt limit that we're hitting right now. So now we're going to have to go to solar panels. We're going to have to install some new solar panels first. We'll run that. And when that's done, we'll be able to come back here, build the antenna, which will allow us to contact this. Planet info, market share. There's not even contact. So we'll actually have to go through. We'll have to contact this sector first and then this sector. So we may need 2 upgrades of the antenna. Additional trade licenses to additional galaxy sector unlocks. Yeah, we'll have to go through into high power antenna. So we'll let that run in the background. I noticed I forgot that we were supposed to do 4 pump jacks and I only did 2. So we will have to go back and slap another 2 down. I'm not too terribly worried about it though. Oh, we are actually selling some now just out of our what do they call that? The free market or sales from our sales platform. We are selling some even at our plus 25 asking price. So there's 1.2k Firmalite. That's what's the next thing we want to do. We want to look at producing Olumite gas. So let's actually use some of this extra Olumite we're producing now. So if we look at the tech tree, let me get away from this noisy machine. So if we look at the tech tree, so we've gotten to circuit boards. And now we want to get into chemical processing and then to Olumite fuel, which will get us to jetpacks. Jetpack fuel, jetpack speed. It just unlocks it. We don't even have to build the jetpack. So let's get chemical processing researched. And then to produce this Olumite fuel, this liquid fuel, we have to produce low density Olumite, which is done in a distillation column. So we're going to have so many Olumite recipes here. We're going to have liquid polymer. We're going to have low density Olumite. And we're going to have Olumite gas. And we take the Olumite gas and create alumic acid in a chemical processor. So we're actually going to need 3 distillation towers. 1 for each. So this is going to have to be extended this way. Which is not the end of the world because we have the blueprint already. It's just more time investment off screen. So for right now, we're going to convert 1 into... We can't do it just yet, but we're going to have 1 do Olumite refining. Although we might as well turn it off at this point. So we're going to have 1 do Olumite refining, and we're going to have 1 do... what was it? Lightweight Olumite? For Olumite fuel? Low density Olumite. And then we'll have a chemical processor to make liquid fuel. And then as we go further down that line, we'll unlock combat drones. And then somewhere in here, behind Science Pack 4, we have cargo shuttles that'll alleviate us having to run long stretches of cargo belts across the base. We can just set up a cargo shuttle to pick up goods made at one part of the base and then drop them off at another part of the base. But we do have to get through Science Pack 4, which requires circuit boards, which we have, Firmalite sheets, which we have, and energy cells, which we do not. So after we get done researching chemical processing, Olumite fuel, and jetpacks, we'll have to start working down this energy cell line. Ooh, underground mining? Used with ore veins. We're getting close to the end. There's not too much more ahead of this. Alright, so we're on hold basically until chemical processing gets researched. So I guess I will see you in just a few minutes. Okay, so there's Olumite fuel, just in time for me to sort of get this place put back together again. So if I step outside, you'll notice that our distillation facility has gotten a little bit longer because I put a 3rd distillation tower in here and a 3rd flare stack. So now we can have a separate distillation tower for each of the types of Olumite refining that we're going to need to do. So we're going to keep this first one on liquid polymer. And with our new research complete, we're going to set this one to produce Olumite refining. And then when we get to it, we'll also need to produce, what was the third one here? It was for energy cells. We're going to need to create Olumite gas. Actually, let's get that. Let's get JETPACKs researching right now, because that's going to be our last goal for this episode. And then maybe next episode we'll work on yellow science. Oh, we have solar power over here too. So a few goodies in store for the next episode, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. So here we're going to be taking crude Olumite, and we're going to be producing low density Olumite, which we are full up on, and producing waste gas. So let me just quickly go over what I've done here. So let's take a look down below. We just have to redo our pipe work down here slightly because we're no longer piping together the outputs of multiple distillation towers. So now we just have a single run of the liquid polymer that comes in from the first distillation tower and then goes out on a four-way splitter. One goes up to the tank that's now behind it instead of off to the right-hand side. I'm going to put a tank behind each one of the distillation towers to collect the output of it. And then on the left-hand side, this is going to go out to our polymer board manufacturing. So we're going to have to run a second set of pipes now for the output of this second distillation tower. And I don't know exactly where we're going to go with that yet, because we do have to bring it into something, a liquid assembler or something of that nature, fluid assembler. So these are going to need to go probably on our assembly line, because it's going to take xenoferrite plates, advanced machinery parts, circuit boards, and polymer. Oh wait, no, that's to make the fluid assembler. Hang on. So let's take a look at our research list, actually. So Olumite fuel. We're producing the low-density Olumite already. The low-density fuel, or the low-density Olumite, is turned into liquid fuel in a chemical processor. And that looks like what? Chemical processor, 20 steel beams. Okay, we have all this. I just need to go pick it up. So it's 7 by 8 by 5. So it's actually pretty enormous. So we're going to need another facility specifically for this chemical processor. So let me go. Well, hang on. Before we go to that, we need to get the output of that routed into a tank. So let's go up here. So the output of our distillation tower here is this. Is this it? Low density Olumite. It's a pink icon, but it's a yellow fluid. Let's see what's in here. Yeah, we still have liquid polymer in here for some reason. So let's flush this. Can we flush this? Discard content. There we go. Now it's purple. Okay, so this is going to go into this tank here. So we just need to punch a hole in the floor and then bring this underneath and up. So let's just take this floor out real quick. Ah, right, there's more pipes in the way. How do we want to do that? Let me hop down. Well, I can't hop down there. Well, I can actually. I can just take this out. So we can go straight down under and then come back up. Because obviously this is going to be in our way. We may have to do that. It's going to look a little bit messy, but it's pipe works. It's not supposed to look nice. So we'll go down, 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 down. And at some point in here, we're going to tee this off and we're going to carry it out. That'll be parallel to this to go to whatever facility we're going to build to process it. But once we get underneath this, we're going to need to turn it and go backwards. So let me get down here. Just enough to go under this wall. So like this and like this. And then we want this. I guess we can just go straight back up with it and then tee it off, or not tee it off, but turn it again once we get up the wall. So we need to go one more back and then go up. So let's turn it here. And then we'll turn it again here. Straighten it out. And then send it up. There we go. Put our floor back together again. And then let's run up top. Here we are. So if we dig down from here or here, there it is. So we'll just turn this one more time. Put one here. Put another one here. And then one straight piece. And there we go. Here comes our low density Olumite. I also did discover while I was down here, I guess I can patch this up and just drop down again. So I did discover that we hit our complexity limit on the pipes again, even though I put that pump in there, and I misunderstood how the pump works. So the pump is essentially what I was trying to do with the pipes. It separates a pipe segment into two different segments. So putting it immediately on the output of the pump jacks over there actually didn't really lower our pipe complexity that much. So once we get the pipe in here, I'm actually putting another pump in here, and now everything past this is one pipe network. We can take a look at this and see our complexity is only 59 to 300, and then everything on the back side of this is a separate network, so that's 249 to 300. So we can actually, next time we go over to put in 2 more of those pump jacks to finish the quests for BB and Carl, we can actually remove that pump we put over there because we don't need it. So now that we're dealing with the low density Olumite, we'll get it into a facility. Okay, the pump jacks, or not the pump jacks, but the flare stacks are working. So what do we need to do next? There was something, I was just about, I needed to grab some materials to build the chemical processor. Okay, steel beams. Sort these, put the extras back. We also need polymer boards and circuit boards, which we don't normally keep in our inventory because they're almost never used, so we might just we'll split off just enough from a stack to make this. Actually, I can't even split polymer boards because I don't think we're buffering it anywhere. I think we're just going straight into the line. No, there's a container for it in the facility that makes it, that's right. So we're going to take some more pipe, because we are going to have to run a long section of pipe. And then we need some circuit boards, which are here. We need how many? 5 circuit boards. So we're going to shift right-click, and we're going to take 5, split. Yep, and then we just need 10 polymer boards. We might even be able to just take it off of the line here. Let's grab... that's 2. That's probably 2 more. Do we need more than we need? Oh, we need 10. Never mind. So do that 2 more times, right? There's 10. Perfect. So let's get this building chemical processor. And then I guess we'll probably also want to make a fluid assembler. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's do the same thing. I guess we can just grab these off the line here, although we can't get a... That kind of... Oh god, that was 6? Well, alright then. I guess we're going to have some on hand. So let's build this fluid assembler. I guess we can just stick it back directly into this. There you go. Just to not clutter up our inventory. Now we've got one of each of our new machines. So we're still waiting on JETPACK to finish research. So let's see if we can get that chemical processor. What is it called? Yeah, chemical processor. Let's see if we can get that online in time for that to be researched. Oh, not just because building takes a little bit longer, but we have all this space to work with now that the original assembly line has been cleared out. So let's just let's hide some stuff here. Guess we can flatten this out. And then we can place our chemical processor to see what the heck is going on with it. Decide where exactly we want this building to be. Somewhere around here. Toss this down. Cover this up. Ooh, that's a big boy. So it's got 6 connection points on it. And then all kinds of inputs along the bottom. And so the recipe for liquid fuel is just low density Olumite, and it spits out liquid fuel. So that's easy enough. Hardly even worth creating an entire building for, but we're going to do it anyway. Let's cover this up. So the first thing we're going to want to do is get our... Oh, I kind of hate how this is lined up, so we have to bring it into the front. Input. I wish you could assign these. Sadly, you cannot. Okay, well, we'll make do. So let's right click, well, get that right while I'm looking at it. So let's bring this down to the ground, and let's bring this down to the ground. Oops. And then we'll build a building around this, kind of make it symmetrical to this building here. And then we'll also want to put a tank, I guess, to hold the... Well, we may also need to put it into barrels, right? Because we unlocked the ability to make jetpack fuel. And that takes xenoferrite plates and liquid fuel. Let's go up from here. So chemical processing, we can make ignium powder. I thought at some point we unlocked like barrels of some kind. Yeah, barrels. Portable fuel. And a fluid assembler. So let's plop that down as well. Rotate this. We'll leave a space here. So our fluid assembler allows us to make portable fuel. For what, we don't know yet, but the jetpack is going to let us make jetpack fuel. So I assume we'll need to keep this on us in order to allow us to use the jetpack. And that is done in the fluid assembler. So this may actually end up being a larger building because we're going to probably want to have 2 different machines. Well, no, we'll have one machine here making liquid fuel, and then liquid fuel will be split into 2 different liquid assembly. What are these called? Fluid assemblers. One will be making portable fuel for, I guess, maybe drones, and then one will be making jet fuel for us. So we're going to want to bring our liquid fuel out, down, and then tee it off to 2 separate liquid assemblers here, fluid assemblers. At least now we know what we need to do with it. So let's rotate on this level. So it's literally just going to go down 1 level. And then go straight. And then we're going to tee it here. And we'll leave that there for when we put our second fluid assembler next to it. Oh god, he's back. And for right now, we can bring this straight into here. And then we may want to put just a tank as a buffer so that we can build some up in the background. I'm not really decided where to put that just yet. So we need to bring our low-density Olumite line into this building. And we're going to do it underground. So let's get this run down. And then... yeah, we already have our liquid polymer run here, so if we just run parallel to our existing line and then just run it a little bit further, I think that should be just fine. But let's get this over here. I'm going to do a little digging, and then I'll bring you back in when we're ready to bring this up and connect it. And by then, Jetpack should be pretty darn close to researched or done, So we'll cap off this episode with flying around in our jetpacks with our jet fuel, and yeah, should be a good time. See you in a minute. There we go. Jetpack research just in time to watch the moon rise over the distillation facility. Let's take a quick look inside. So I think everything's still the same up here. I did have to tee off our, get in here, our light Olumite, low density Olumite. So I teed it off, sending one over to our tank, and then one is going to run parallel with our liquid polymer line, following the pathway here. So liquid polymer tees off, or not tees off, but veers off into this facility. And then our low density Olumite is going to, forgive the in construction wall here, into our chemical processor here, which is already producing liquid fuel. And we have next to it an assembler that's assembling barrels. I was able to, the original assembly line had already a conveyor balancer in place underground that was sending a line of plates this way, so I was just able to grab that and send it into this assembler here in order to make our barrels. So the barrel line runs behind the chemical processor and takes the jet fuel, the liquid fuel, and the barrels, and also going into this liquid assembler, and then we're going to configure this fluid assembler to produce jetpack fuel for us. We'll see how quickly this works. Oh, this takes plates? Well, that's easy enough, and we have the line here. I thought this was going to take barrels, as they are barrels of jetpack fuel. My mistake. All right, so how do we want to do this? I guess we'll take this up, and then we'll take it up early, and then we'll split it, right? So we can split it here. Is this a second lane? Or this is a second lane loader, so we can actually do a third lane loader here. So we don't want this loading off of this line. We actually want this loading off of this line. So rather than come up here, we'll just have the plates come up here. There's our line. Take this back. Let's just take this all back. Like so. Oh, there's an old red belt line that needs to get ripped up at some point. So we'll start going up. Well, I guess we could just put the line here, right? Well, not put it there yet because we have to put the floor back in. So we want this floor in, and we want this line to run like this, and then we want our ramp to come up this way. We need to go back a little more until this goes here. There we go. So now eventually this is going to fill up, yeah, and the rest will just pass on to our other assembler. And now we're producing jetpack fuel. So I guess we're going to want to spit this out into a logistics container somewhere. But for right now, I just want to, I'm going to let it run until we get to like 20 or so. I'm not sure how much this actually consumes. But let's see. Let's just grab it at 10. There we go, 10 jetpack fuel. So how do we actually use the jetpack? Is it just like a double jump? It is! Amazing. And we can just fly around like this. And I assume the yellow bar is our fuel gauge. So we have 25 megajoules of jetpack fuel. Is that per barrel? It's a bit weird because if it's per barrel, that would be, what, we had 10, so that'd be 250, but we're over 250 megajoules now in total jetpack fuel. I'm not exactly sure, but we have already gone through 1 barrel of jetpack fuel, so it does seem rather thirsty. But that is pretty damn cool. So we can hover over a building here. I actually need to repair some roof here during my my rebuild. How do you, let's go down. Control, okay. So we can rebuild our roof real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. You get this. You get this, and there we go. First practical application of our jetpack. Whoosh. Fantastic. And then control to go down so we can refuel here. Awesome. So that will be very useful, especially for working with our resource bus here, since it's up to, what, 13 squares high now. So yeah, definitely tons of use there. Tons of use probably flying over the mountains, flying around looking for resource nodes. So that's a pretty huge upgrade. But at any rate, I think that's going to be where we're going to call it for this episode. That is a nice milestone to end on. So let me fly up here and we'll get a nice aerial view of the base so far. The assembly line continues to grow off into the distance, so it's come a long way. I'm actually kind of surprised. It doesn't feel like it's been quite that long, but yeah, we've got all of our individual buildings here. We're about to run out of resources here, so we're going to have to go scouting in the next episode for some more xenoferrite, and now we have the jetpack to do it with, so we can get a nice bird's eye view as we're flying around. But yeah, quite impressed. Definitely not an insignificant amount of time investment, but I think it was pretty worth the playtime so far. So, if you've been enjoying this playthrough of Foundry, hit like and subscribe. If you want to try out Foundry for yourself, head on over to Steam and pick it up. And if you want to let me know what you think of the gameplay so far, then let me know in the comments down below. But whatever you do, I'll see you right here again in the next one. So, until then, bye-bye.